Okay.
Okay, so welcome guys to the episode 58 of Beyond Tea. And today we talk about the energies of Mars. So cheers,
Here's to all
welcome.
of us
Here's what we are here for, to drink tea.
and to chat about some celestial and terrestrial events.
Yeah, but mostly to just really have tea with you guys. That's the most important part. And see your beautiful faces. Those smiles, exactly those, yeah. So cool. So today we are talking about the energy of Mars because Mars has just entered and joined the Sun in the sign of Scorpio. And Scorpio is kind of waiting for that and rubbing its hands and saying, "Oh, okay, a little fire coming," because Mars is the original ruler of Scorpio, and this is where those of you who have strong Scorpio energy know this is when we become energized, and depending on our mood, we can get either ready to do super big things today, or we get super irritated and we are looking to snap at someone, no matter whom, and to teach them the lesson that they deserve. So, these are some ways how Mars is acting. And it's interesting, in the sign of Scorpio, we will talk deeper about that, but it has three actual expressions. And the lowest expression is that anger and burning from the inside and the need to teach lessons and to be vindictive. And of course, higher is all to be a spiritual guide to help others see their own shortcomings and to see how they are.
To ignite the spiritual fire.
Exactly. So, our question to you today is, how are you feeling this Mars that has just activated itself? Are you kind of energized? Are you able to do things? Is it kind of giving you the impetus to do something that you wanted for a while and you're able to channel this energy? Or is there some sort of irritation coming up these days? Or you don't feel it at all? How is this reflecting in your world? And anyone who feels, just put the hands up or turn on your mic and let us know.
Yeah,
Yes,
Nikki.
Nikki.
Hi. I definitely felt the Scorpio energy big time last week, and I've really learned that with energy it can really get me physically. Like I had a whole day in bed last week where I was just completely written off, and then I got up the next day like a phoenix. And then yes, definitely today I feel like I'm sort of releasing the old. I just feel like I'm doing a lot of releasing of the old me, you know. But I feel quite energized, like I'm in Aries, so Mars is quite a big one for me.
Hmm.
So I'm feeling quite energized today, and just yeah, that's me really.
Ah, thank you.
Great. Thank you, Nikki. Nice to see you. And yes, actually, you are very right. Mars also has this quality of uh, dying and being reborn to next level of yourself. So in swift ways, it doesn't take 10 years, it takes a day, it takes a day, and a part of your personality is grilled and no longer there. This is exactly the action of Mars on your earthly self.
Yeah,
Yes.
great reminder. We will go a little deeper into that. Thank you for
Yeah.
reminding us.
So
Anna and then Miriam.
Um, so yeah, I had a really, really big lesson with these energies, I think. So for me, I had to deal in the last weeks with someone who turned kind of like very, very aggressive in their demands on my time, person, everything. And then what I did, I really kind of like went into and decided where are my boundaries. But then it was really like to hold on, like to say, okay, I'm not moving an inch when someone is coming so aggressive. That was my big lesson, to kind of trust myself and what I was getting, like, no, this is dead and I'm not moving an inch, and it worked. It worked. So like after this person noticed that this all aggressive energy, I was like, you know what? I'm talking to my lawyer. This actually did the trick, I was like, and then the person was like, just the energy. But to me, it was really a big lesson to say, I'm not going into like what I was used to doing, when as a child I needed to deal with these people, I would kind of like, do everything they wanted because I couldn't really, or not even that. I even wanted to stand up for myself, but I wasn't able to because this was my father who would say like, you don't talk back to your father, right? So I had no chance. So it was really nice to now say like, no, I'm now an adult person and I'm not moving an inch. And I really felt this, I think Martian energy in me, of like saying, no, this is my boundary and that's it. And I don't care what's coming after because this is my boundary and I'm not betraying myself anymore. So that was amazing. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, thank you, Anna. This is a very great reminder that we're going to talk about as well. This is, force versus power. There is force, and there is this kind of quick, like angry person that is trying to do something quickly, but then what it met in you is a power, and power is, this calm inner sureness that I don't think so. This is not going to work with me. And like then they just burn off, like the match is finished. So cool to that. And these moments really determine many situations in our lives. So yeah. Beautiful. Thank
Plus,
you.
when one person's Mars meets another person's Mars, it can be digging the heels and standing for what's what's your conviction and not moving from it. And this is the energy that was exactly the energy of last week, that people would have these clashes because no one wants to move from where they stand, and then the strongest wins. Yes.
Miriam.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, I had a little bit like Nikki. I'm doing a course channeling from Lee Harris, and that is so powerful. It's weekly. And yesterday, after listening to that, I also got a transmission from a woman that I know. And it went really high up, and I could feel over the last few weeks already more and more opening up and able to go higher and deeper. And after that, I was just wiped out. So I went to bed at 3:30 afternoon until 6:30, and then again at 10. I thought, okay, let them do whatever my body needs right now to shift for whatever reason. So I was, I'm just, when I'm tired, I just lay down. So that happened yesterday, but it was full on, and I was really grateful. And today, good in my energy again. But I didn't even think about the Mars and Scorpio. I was just thinking, okay, I got a lot of energy and a lot of shifts, and so my body needs to recalibrate with that. Yeah. So I'm doing very well.
Beautiful.
Upward and onwards.
Send maybe the link to that course, so Nikki is also looking at Lee Harris's courses.
Step in any time. And it's I've listened to them now several times, and as they say, the guides, like we're not. This is not a linear energy. It's spiral and circular, and whenever you listen, you pick up other things, and it's really powerful. And I listen like live when it's at 4 a.m. here in Bali, and then later I listen the recording, and it's really beautiful. I really like it. So I will
share it here in the chat if you can.
Yeah, let me see how I can.
Or later in the Telegram group, that also can work.
Okay, maybe better. Yeah, this is a technical thing.
Okay. Okay, no problem. No problem.
Yeah, but that's another expression of Mars. This kind of initiative and wanting to do. Okay, let's start something new. I know that I want to expand this. So okay, now I'm gonna do it. So actually Mars is the one that makes us nail down the plans and start doing concrete steps in that direction. And it also kind of affects the physical body and energy. So if you're, we will see, you know, where Mars is in personal charts, but it has also this effect on physical body that when you're doing something in the domain where your Mars is present, you actually don't get tired. Otherwise, this surge of energy can be exhausting, and then you really need to black out for quite a while to to get back on feet. So depending on where is your Mars and what are you doing, if they match, you'll have infinite energy. If they don't, then it's flat out. It's good to know.
Who else would like to share? How did you feel this Mars energy, or do you feel any in your life these days? And given that we are in Scorpio, it usually is going to be kind of going towards some inner changes and inner transformations that we are going through. So it's either going to be, you know, triggering or maybe energizing. So any insights from you guys?
One thing is sure is it doesn't allow us to stay quiet.
Yes,
Fabiana. Nice to see you.
Fabiana and then Anne.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I felt it big time actually. Both, you know, Scorpio energies totally everywhere. And the Mars in Scorpio, I really felt this urge and initiative and action towards dying, really, like letting go everything. I was already in this vibe. I've been in this vibe for a while. And then Scorpio, you know, came, Scorpio season arrived, and I'm like, yeah, total letting go, letting go, letting go. And so with this Mars thing, I just decided to really do it. So once again, opened all my boxes, and I think I got rid of, I don't know, like 5 or 6 full boxes of stuff just like thrown away, and then 5 or 6 more I just donated everything, and I'm still in the process of just let it all go. But this time it was not painful. It was just like, yeah, this is great, you know. And I did it in one night. I opened like my 20 boxes and just like, you know, yeah.
Oh,
you're
so
embodying the Mars itself.
This is
action.
Mars. It's like, let's do something about it and let's do it now. We cannot wait.
Exactly.
And if possible, something destructive so that it feels satisfying. Oh, beautiful. It's great that you had prepared those papers from the old, or whatever, the old objects, so you could throw them away.
Yeah, exactly. Mars is not about slowly and in planned and a gradual way going into things. It's now, it's sudden, it's big, it's active, and it's out.
Great.
Gone, dead, like very, very radical.
Fabiana, remind me, are you Scorpio in your regular astrology?
No, I'm a Sagittarius.
Okay, cool. Well, fire. Good,
Fire,
good,
yeah.
good. Anne, you wanted to share as well. Thank you, Fabiana.
Yes, hello. I guess for me too, it's all about the death process and letting go of the old, and I just can't stand anything false and illusions anymore. It's just like driving me crazy. And you know, we did a little ceremony with Sylvia yesterday, and one point we had a pillow who was kind of representing the kind of a false bridge, the illusion, the falseness and the fakeness. I just kicked it out of it went under the bed, and I was like, yes, now it's gone. And it was so easy. And I felt like, okay, well, yeah, that's the way to get rid of the old. And yeah, but today I have been sitting with this kind of a tiredness, and I feel like I'm in a between worlds. Like I the old is gone, but where is the new? I don't know how to move forward. So I'm a 5-time Aries. I guess I need some action, but I just don't know where to go. But it was easy to kick to kick the falseness out. That was fun to do. I wanted to share that.
Yes.
Yeah, and that reminds me of our little exercise in Penestanan house, how we put this action into falseness, working on the reversed grid. So this is exactly that kind of energy is needed to really shift things. We can go slowly, but when Mars comes and helps, it can be radical, it can be with a lot of power, and it can be, a sudden change, sudden, enlightenment, or really deep understanding that things are different.
Yeah, Emma asks how long the Mars is going to be in Scorpio. Well, about till mid-December or late December, something like that. So the Sun is already not going to be in Scorpio anymore, but the Mars is going to be staying in there for quite a little bit more, so we can process and go through the death of the things that we don't need. And yeah, Anne is Aries, just like Nikki, so you guys are maybe feeling it.
Called in action.
Yeah. Yeah, so thank you for sharing how you're beautifully expressing that Mars energy.
Oh, hi Lisa.
Hi Lisa, welcome. Good to see you. So
yeah, beautiful. Those are very, very typical elements. Kicking the pillow, yes.
Well, or a person,
Or a person.
depending on the level of the Mars. Yeah.
Depending on the level of emergency and who is closer, pillow or the person.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyone else has your own expressions of Mars in your world these days? Any sudden influxes of energy and movements of energy? I have a feeling that Lisa had something also there, but I don't know if it's too early to share, Lisa.
Or too late.
Or too late.
She's in New Zealand.
That's
Must be
right.
midnight or something. Okay, then let's dive in.
Yeah. So it's very interesting when it comes to Scorpio that it has the Scorpio energy. We spoke about it quite a while last time, but it's interesting that it has these 3 different ways to express itself. And we can say that they are actually, to kind of illustrate what they are, one and the lowest expression is an expression of scorpion that actually sees only personality and acts from the level of personality, and that's a personality to personality clash, and it represents physical penetration, and it's about self-preservation, about kill or be killed, and like this is those lower Martian kind of aspects of how this is. I'm imagining a person that Anna had a connection with was acting from this place. I either kill or I'm gonna be killed. It's like personality to personality level. So it's kind of like grabbing for power and so forth.
And it's a warrior that doesn't want to lose. So there's not that option. When Mars goes for things through people, there's no option of losing.
Yeah. So
it's not a negotiation, I mean.
This is the lowest aspect of Scorpio, and we all have known people who have this energy and have not transcended it yet. Yes, Emma, I didn't hear I didn't see your hand. Please go ahead. We would love to hear from you. You said that you want to write about it.
Yeah, I wrote
write it down.
Okay.
Basically, that feeling irritated and sad and angry, and like was telling Victor that okay, I need to go on my own. We are on by the beach, and he said, okay, I go this direction. Like, okay, I go to the opposite kind of thing. And then, it's just going through all these negative emotions and kicking water and everything. And like more and more people coming on the beach. And I just really literally didn't care what they think, like was like shaking and doing crazy sounds, and I don't know, like lots of people around me. Like, it's really scary, I guess, like crazy woman. Anyway, so, but I feel much better now.
Well, yes.
Did it? The ocean could take your kicks. That was a good target that you chose.
Yeah, but it's really disappointing to wake up like that. Like, yeah, it's very intense.
What we will see is actually, this is the energy, and then we start interpreting it. It's an energy that hasn't been planned. That you wake up with this energy, you have to do something with it. So first is like, physical outlet. That's why people who do regular physical exercises, they immediately have a tool. Okay, I'll go for a run, I'll go for a bike ride, I will let it out. Yeah. So we can let it out, and it has to. And we know that Mars energy is really something very swift. So when it's out, and then you're like, what was the big deal?
But while it's there, it looks
it's
like the world is on fire.
It's fritzing.
Yeah, exactly. And then I got this message of the tea that if you go out, that you also go within, you will create a balance.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, you're funny.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you, Emma.
Exactly, because that's what the Mars does. It steers you up, puts you in action because something is ready to go, And when you catch what it is that wants to kind of die one more time of personality, then the balance comes. Exactly.
So, yeah, beautiful example. So let me just point out the other two ways that Scorpio energy can express itself, and we can actually apply this practically if that low drive to kind of energetic drive to do something, if we have worked with it and we have the outlet for it, and if we have actually built our energetic body and Ka body in such a way that we have something to do with it, there is the recipient of this energy already ready from before in our world, then we are able to kind of put it somewhere. And the next level of the Scorpio, how it can act, which is a little bit above the Scorpion, it's the level of eagle. And eagle is the other symbol of Scorpio. In many tarot decks, we see Scorpio represented as eagle. And this is, instead of seeing personality to personality, it sees another person through its positive intention. So it is trying to see always the positive intention in the other, which means able to look with the compassion. So Scorpio is energy and people with strong Scorpio are super capable of compassion once that they are over the angry phase. So this is, the first was physical penetration, this is psychological penetration, penetrating into another's psyche and being able to kind of see how to best understand them. They do the shadow work, they're counseling, and we know that depth of Scorpios and Scorpio energy allows us to see our shadow and to weed it out. So once we are out of reaction to this energy, then we can apply it to look into our shadow and to kind of weed it out. And the third level, so this is like, we can call this second eagle stage, that this is a counselor. This is like the really experienced counselor. And the third level of Scorpio energy that does very well with Mars, uses Mars as a scalpel, so to speak, is the level of dove. So instead of seeing a personality or seeing positive intention in a person, it sees divinity in action. It sees always the divine in the other. And we call this spiritual penetration. So this is working with the spiritual aspect of everyone who we see. So this is really the after the ego. So this is above the ego. And this one is an initiate, like Scorpio, initiate into the sacred mysteries, spiritual, teacher, and psychic. So this is the high, very high aspect of Scorpio. So all these expressions of Scorpio are now opening for all of us. We will either act as a Scorpion and kind of pick fights, receive fights, and be able to kind of engage in this low-level conflict, person-to-person conflict, or above this, we will be inspired to go into our shadow work and see what is ready to be taken out, what is ready to be transmuted, released, what is ready to go, what we don't need anymore in the subconscious and psychological levels. Or at the even higher level, we are connected to our highest possible guidance in alignment with the divine. And for that, we have to have our higher self activated and as the chain reaction, as a channel reaction to the divine. And from that place, we are able to really connect to our highest inspiration and guidance and to sacred mysteries. And some of you, I know, have done some rituals around this time to really open those channels. And I'm really looking forward to hearing how what is flowing into your lives now after this. So these are those three ways of opening up to the energy that is present in our world right now.
On the practical level, this energy is inevitable, and when it comes, if we are ready, we can really accomplish a lot in a very short time. It's like, websites get done in a day, and cupboards are being all sorted out in a few hours.
Yeah, the rental unit gets finished to be rented after.
Yeah, like it can drag for things that can drag for months. If you're ready, it's like a wave coming. If you know how to pick this energy, it can propel you in really finishing fast things that have been stuck, or you didn't have motivation. Like for me, the accounting papers is, I just can't deal with it. But yesterday I said, okay, let's bring it on, Mars. Hey, let's go. And I finished, in a couple of hours what I couldn't do for a year. And, it just works. But we need to be mindful and aware to call it in when needed, so we're not accumulating it mindlessly, so it doesn't turn into this aggressive anger. When we have, for example, I have a pile of things, like a basket of things that I don't know where to put or that need to be placed somewhere. And when I feel this kind of irritation coming, I go to my unfinished things. And this works very well.
Hey, Victor.
Hey, Victor. Yeah. So you can be Mars ready by having your options what to do when the energy kicks in. And I don't know, I
have just discovered one, and it is axe and chopping
wood.
Because this is such a great outlet. After this, I feel so beautifully energized, and we have something to burn in the evening in our fireplace.
Yeah, so Mars gives this opportunity of practical results. So chopping wood and then burning into fire, it couldn't be a better expression for it. When the force is applied to practical ends. Well, if it's not applied to practical ends, it's like what I saw yesterday on the streets, accidents, angry people, police kind of picking fights with people passing by, and people pushing each other in the streets. That's when the Mars is very active in the planet, it's better not to be in crowded places or surrounded with general public.
Unless this is your experiment, to actually be around this energy and see, no, this is a very valid experiment. Be around this energy and, like observe how you deal with this. This is, the one of the ways of meditation.
Mm-hmm. But knowing that they can't help it. So this aggression needs to come through. And from those lower expressions, it will express as road rage and impatience, impulsiveness, I can't wait, and angry comments on Facebook, in every possible way that lets it out.
Mm-hmm.
Then when we speak about action or reaction, so that's the big question that Mars is asking you and every one of us. So where are you with this energy going? As we know, it can create or destroy. Can you apply it to constructive action, or it provokes reaction to things?
Yeah, this is super, super important question. In a moment of this surge of Mars energy, if nothing else, it would be important to kind of discern, am I acting or am I reacting? Even to just know. If we know, okay, I'm reacting, but at least I know it. I am reacting and I know it, then I'm in the state of meditation. But if I'm reacting and I don't know it, then I'm in a state of unawareness. And this is what we want to kind of teach ourselves, to at least observe it and know it before we are able to do something about it. At least let's tag it. I'm reacting or I'm acting. Yeah.
And then actually it loses the power. Whenever you are aware that you are reacting, you already have a power to do something about it. So what is reaction? Reaction is something came your way that you are not ready to deal with. Yeah, like, a comment event, kids screaming, something that you just don't want to have in that moment. Angry comment, long lines, whatever it might be. Or someone, commenting, put your mask back on the nose. Half of the time I react with smile, I put it on and I take it back off. But sometimes there are moments that same kind of comment is just irritating. So, because it comes in a moment where you don't want it. You're not ready for it, you don't know what to do with it. And it provokes reaction. Reaction is pushing away what comes uninvited in our awareness. So
yeah, reacting is actually acting in a way that you have not really pre-planned. It's like,
you're not ready for it.
Yeah, it's this automatic reaction, automatic action without the control of consciousness over it.
So when we add a little bit of consciousness, this reaction can be caught in the moment and turned into action. So the action would be, okay, I assess the situation and I choose how I want. I have a multitude of possibilities.
Well, we have these
do with it.
3 possibilities that we talked about earlier. So the energy comes my way. If it's overwhelming and I need to punch somebody in the face, I'm in a Scorpion version of the Scorpio. So I'm acting from that lowest possible reactive place. If I'm able at least to see the positive intention, this was this second middle way. I'm seeing positive intention. These guys who are bugging us to put the piece of cloth on our nose,
they're doing what they're
being told they
do.
They will lose their job. This is what this is what they have, that they have somehow, this is how they see the world, and we understand that they have the right to see the world that way. And we are seeing it from the place of positive intention, and we can see it from the even higher place, and this is from this infinite love for humanity, and kind of giving them blessing at the same time as they are doing something awful. This is when Jesus says, forgive them, they have no idea what they're doing.
And from that point of view, even the mask becomes irrelevant as a subject. So it doesn't matter you have it on or off. It does not become the point of fight. Yeah. So we can view every event that comes our way from these 3 perspectives. And when we catch ourselves from which level are we reacting to it, we can really turn it around. We can turn the reaction into spiritual advancement, I would say, because every
meditation,
time,
yes.
every victory over reaction is a step higher in in inner freedom. Because what Mars does with the warrior energy, it keeps us bound by this impulsive behavior before we can actually choose to do so. So most of the time we regret, the snapping or yeah, like being irritated. Most of the time we regret having done it.
It's time to prevent eclipse of Evia. So let me.
Yeah, we have beautiful blue sky and immense sun.
Mm-hmm. Saved from eclipse. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Mars is teaching us there's those little steps in a spiritual journey. Last week we spoke about Pluto, which is really going in big, like fundamental shifts. Mars is making a shift daily, as Nikki said. Like yesterday I felt like that, boom bang, and today I'm good. So this is exactly those small bursts of victory,
impulse. Mm-hmm.
Victory over our instinctive and impulsive nature.
This is actually, let me just add that, what we are feeling today is maybe the big surges that irritate us. But these small impulses of Mars are present and we are addicted to it on so many levels. One of them being Facebook and whatever is like dopamine raising activity. So, being aware of our Mars includes also understanding the little impulses that we get, like, oh, I have this feeling I need to check my phone. There's Mars, it is like hijacked Mars energy. Instead of doing something else with your energy, you are actually feeling the impulse of picking up the phone and looking and scrolling to the next post. This is, even that it's small, also the Mars energy that we need to take control and power over to get it back. Just to make sure that it's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's small but repetitive and addictive, the way how it acts.
Mm-hmm. It's just an energy that comes at your disposal. So how intelligently we use this for our own benefit, it's entirely in our hands from some point. Because let's say it expresses through feelings and emotions. That's also the quality of Mars. It goes to what is inflammable the fastest, usually emotions. So we feel emotion and the mind tries to explain it, why you feel that way, and eliminate the cause of emotion. Like Emma said that she woke up feeling slightly irritated, sad, angry, lost. It's a feeling. It doesn't have maybe like a specific cause. But then, we need explanation. So why do I feel? So we start
then
looking
the mind
at
kicks
who
in.
did it, who did it. Because this is also what Mars, from the warrior side, I feel irritated. I need to find someone who will be the,
other aspects of our chart
who will
open
be
up.
the one to blame.
So the energy comes up through the Mars, yeah? And then other aspects of our chart open up and they react to that. So wherever your, air planets are something to do with the mind, they will determine your style of concluding what it will be. So, we are looking, the energy is in, it's unpleasant. I have to find an explanation. As soon as we start finding an explanation, we are on a slippery slope, because in that mood, the explanation will not be rational. It will be reactive explanation. So best is to not even qualify. So this is like when Pepe broke his arm and he's like the flute player. There were many mind explanations that we say, why did this happen to me? This is awful. I won't be able to play. Like why hand? Why the right hand? All these questions Rather than that, we just say, okay, well, this is the reality of situation. This had happened. I am not putting any additional mind difficulties on top of what has already happened. Let me just meditate through the physical pain. That's it.
Mm-hmm. And if one outlet of energy is stopped, that means another one opens instead. So if we are not able to do what we used to do and how we used to do, that means there's something that we wouldn't look otherwise. Like, where can we redirect that energy? So it's all about routing and rerouting this powerful force that comes through us. It's unstoppable, and creating from it. Because in that impulsive way, this is when most of people kind of bang doors and leave partners. And
we don't want to make decisions from that place.
Yeah, because it has this feeling of not just shouting, but taking physical action to get out of those bad emotions. So it's usually going together with a physical movement. So slapping, hitting, running away, banging the door, radically changing things. These are all those impulses to action. The other side of impulses to action would be really starting things, finishing things, and going for a hike, doing things we didn't have energy for. So, and always there's this moment of choice, which is ours. This is where the precious levels of awareness come in. And if we are able to just stop the time for a little bit, for that fraction of a second, and just understand that this is just energy, it's ours. How and where I direct it, it's all entirely up to me. And that's where we can again get a personal victory over ourselves and our drives, and bring it to more constructive and conscious action.
So, yeah, what I would like to stress at this point is that we are not at all saying that anger and anger-related emotions are good or bad. As a matter of fact, there is actually misunderstanding about what could be a positive use of anger, because there is such thing as righteous anger. There is something that we can be angry about with the reason, because somebody's so the question is, where are we being tolerant, and what is the boundary after which we are accepting really other people's negligence? So that boundary has to also exist. And if somebody is habitually going over that, like negligence and trying to kind of force it upon us, well, there is that righteous anger that is possible to be harnessed and actually to inspire us to do something constructive about the situation. So we're not always trying to kind of avoid action. What we are trying to avoid is unconscious action. But if we are really angered by, somebody obviously trying to impose something that, we simply don't want to accept, we can use this energy as, to channel it into the constructive action in the direction that we choose. So when we say responsibility, in Sadhguru sense, because Sadhguru has explained it in a right way, we have responsibility, which means we have ability to respond. This is responsibility. Every other connotation of responsibility is a little bit of misunderstanding. Responsibility means I have the ability to choose my response. If I am not choosing my response, but I'm triggered and reacting in an unconscious way, I'm not being responsible. I am responsible if I get the impulse and I can say, I can decide I do nothing about it. I will do something about it, and I don't know exactly what now, but I will reflect on it and I will respond later today or tomorrow, or I will respond today out of something that I have already prepared as my response, these are the actual options that we can have. Even if, so a concrete example would be if there is a heart attack in a room and then somebody is asking, is there a doctor here? Can somebody help? What do we do? How do we react? Do we feel guilty that we cannot do anything? Do we turn our head, go out, or do we actually have an obligation to help? All of these things are, a little bit emotional reactions. Responsibility would be seeing, can I really do something about a person who is in an emergency situation in the room? If I truly cannot, I have scanned what I could do, and I'm choosing, well, in this situation I cannot do anything, and I'm then either calling for help or walking away with full understanding that I cannot do anything about it. Or I happen to be a doctor, maybe I can come up to the person and help. But the thing is really always making a conscious scan of what is possible to be done in this situation, and then choosing consciously our reaction rather than kind of following emotions there. I hope it's clear what I'm trying to say. Is it clear?
Well, I don't know. It's clear. But one more time, ability to respond is the measure of our true consciousness. And more we can respond, the more we know that our life is in our hands, including our reactions.
Exactly.
So then what to do with Martian outbursts around us? So how do we deal with aggressive people in our surroundings, that annoying neighbor, road rage, any kind of expressions around us that, maybe just angry spouse or husband. And there is one rule. Imagine if the Mars is the warrior and it temporarily inhabits the person. So what does a warrior want? It wants a fight. It wants a fight, and it's kind of poking you to wake you up for the fight, because he needs to let the energy out. He needs the actual moment of fight. He needs like 20 minutes, half an hour of intense letting out energy. So it's waking you up to be a partner for the fight. So if you can see it that way, that the warrior has inhabited the person, there's nothing logical about it. There's nothing about what they say, how they pick up. All the kind of toxic words are intended only to wake you up for the fight. If you are not in mood for the fight, if you are not up for the fight, but the energy is starting to, already build up in response, you can understand, okay, I have the energy building up for response. I don't really feel like fighting, but I can use it to, do something else. The one and only remedy for stopping the fight is the humor. If you can at any point of the fight turn things into humor, it will completely destabilize the opponent, because they can do nothing, because you, with humor, you change the frequency. And it's not a joke, the humor dramatically raises the frequency from anger is here, and the humor and laughter is here. So you will shift dramatically the frequency by, just being funny about the situation. And so there's no more field, no more energy to go on with the fight. So that can shift it immediately, including with angry people on the road and strangers and any kind of attacks.
Well, humor combined with inner power, because just humor, we have seen that those thugs who actually really want to have a physical contact, they will say, what, are you ridiculing me? And they will just continue right on. So I like the humor with that inner power is actually the key.
Yeah, as Anna said, staying in your calm and just not allowing to create the field of mutual interaction will stop because it's not interesting, because that energy is not matching, not finding a partner. So it would then, like drunk people sometimes are looking to pick a fight. And if you are just kind of politely standing in your corner, well, it's not interesting because it's not interactive.
It's very useful to have that chart of the frequency of the emotions always in our field and in our mind. So it's almost like thermometer. We know that the shame is the lowest, the anger is very low, highest ones are joy and love, yeah? And all in between. So we shared this chart many times with you guys, but it's great to have it almost like mapped on your body as the thermometer of the energetic situation that is being happening at the time, and then really kind of heightening it up in the situations that you don't want to be part of. And we habitually do this when we travel, when we go through the points of low energy like airports and border crossings and stuff like that. We raise our frequency really, really high up, and many times we don't even, we just pass these borders without any problems, questions, not even, checking tests and things like that, sometimes not even looking at the passports. It's really, really interesting how far we can go with just adjusting our frequency to the higher level than the surrounding. We're almost like kind of flying above it.
Not saying that we have to always avoid feeling what we're feeling, but if we can just understand what we're feeling and then put it to use, that's really a great thing. A fun fact about Mars is also that it has 2 little moons around it, natural moons. And the names of those moons, translated from Greek, are fear and terror. Yeah. So, that gives you a little bit the ambiance of the whole drive. Yeah, that also Mars will express through fear and terror, which is this, typical masculine kind of ravaging and raging around, for many centuries it has been the case. Wars and stuff.
And Mars is actually the god of war. Yeah. So that's how it's giving the name. But these are descriptive attributes of the planet that has so much more than just this. So mostly we can look at Mars as impetus for action, energy that inspires and gives us it gives us energy to do some action. So where it's standing in your chart, and if you want, we can go like last time through your charts and see how you personally, what's your style of acting. It shows what is the most aligned way to me to act. If I act in this particular style, it comes naturally, so it doesn't feel like work. It feels like, I'm just doing something very natural. It happens to be, action.
Yeah, the field in your chart that is backed up by Mars energy will give you infinite energy to do that, and will produce concrete results. So it's good to know, because sometimes, we say, oh, I love doing this, but maybe I should be doing the other thing. So when we know where is the most energy, then a lot of questions. For me, a lot of questions just fell away from the second when I learned in which area of my life there is actually infinite amount of energy, and I can then focus quietly on that.
Yeah, of course, we also can be aware that we come as this energetic vessel, and our planets are where they are for this incarnation. But with inner work, we can transcend this, and we can actually act in any way. But this one, where the Mars is stationed in your chart, is easier than others. So it's good to know where it is.
Yeah, we can also call in Mars on purpose. If, like for me, if I hate doing papers, and I cannot bring myself to do it, I can call on Mars energy to boost boost it up and make me just do and finish quickly.
So let's see. Miriam says that her Mars is in Capricorn.
And do you know in which house?
If you know the house, it's also kind of helpful because we will know on which area of your life it is going to be reflected. Fourth house. So for Miriam, her Mars is in Capricorn and in the fourth house. So this is interesting. Okay, so Mars in Capricorn means that this is the way where you direct your action is in the things that are concrete and of high level of organization, so to speak. So it is some sort of, yes, it is actually knowing a system and then acting within that system. And I can give you an example system of family constellations, for example. So we have the system of family constellations and we follow this system and then we go deep through it because there are certain rules how it works. And I follow these rules and I stay within this almost like a recipe and go deeper and deeper into it through having certain rules to follow. So
and you can have infinite energy and kind of patience to do this particular thing, whether it's just the family constellations or any other method that involves the body, concrete outcome. There is a result, It's all about like concretely shifting people's, energies with immediate result. It has to be practical, it has to be visible, it has to be concrete, and it actually brings also money, for example. But if you develop like any other kind of that system that follows the rules of Capricorn, which has to be practical and down to earth and doable and with results, you will, it can be really a career.
And so it's important it has a set of rules that we follow, and when we follow them we can go deeper and deeper and deeper in the subject. And that it's in the fourth house, it means is that through this method of acting I'm almost like building my extended family. So it's so interesting. So people with whom I act in this way become part of my adopted family, so to speak. So I cannot help but say that it's even called family constellation. So it's kind of even adding that word to the thing that you are so good at. So very interesting.
And what Mars does in that particular case for you, it gives you the power to hold the group because it takes some energy. And well, guess what? Even if you don't feel like it an hour before, when you are standing as a facilitator, suddenly you get the energy, and as long as it's needed. So, and you give it and bless people with that. So this is how whenever you do anything in this area, the tap of energy opens and is available for you, as well as a kind of impulse to do it. You're not like a lazy to do it.
And then we have Anna. Anna's Mars is in 7th house and in Libra. So Libra and 7th house are very similar because 7th house is the house of Libra. So this is all about relating to others. So your acting comes when there is a certain partnership involved. So it's easier to do things together with someone else, and it is also, in the direction of some form of diplomacy, so to speak, so that both people, it's a win-win for both sides. So it's acting so to empower others, and through empowering others, empowering ourselves. So it's all sorts of partnerships, including romantic partnerships. They come easy because this is your normal way of acting. So it's also for business partnerships. Everything that I do better, and I'm more inspired to do if there's someone else to share this with. And maybe even kind of put their goal in front of mine, because I know that my goals are going to be already reached through helping this other person. So it's this type of impetus for action.
Unless it's the other side of the Mars, which is too much. So for all that Vittoria just said, it could also be that you're too much in a relationship, you're too much to handle, you have too much power, you have, like, you give impression of having too much presence or space in a relationship. So these are both expressions, because it's very subjective, and depending on who you are in partnership with. With weak person, you will be very scary, because you do bring that energy, and yeah, you take space in a relationship. And also you have a lot of energy to fight in a relationship, so it's
And to fight for it, and to fight
it within it. So it's the fire is on in a relationship in any way. So it can be to propel the relationship into something that really rocks the world, or it can be cooking the other person slowly on the Mars, on your Mars fire, or it can be like throwing fireballs at him.
But don't look at it as fight, actually. This is like, I know they called it Mars is the god of war or whatever, but really look at it as energy. The energy is coming in, and I am best employing it if I do it through the relationship. This is where I'm really energized to do things. So look at it as energy and action. Here I'm not really lazy to act. I act here out of, like my own drive. It's pleasure to do things about this. Yeah, about partnerships.
Mm-hmm.
So Fabiana says that your Mars is in 9th house, but how about the sign? Which sign, Fabiana? Aquarius in the 9th house. Okay, good. So Mars in Aquarius means that that the action is, you're inspired to do things when it comes to the community and higher interest of the humanity or bigger groups of people. So it's like acting first for the benefit of others and for the benefit of a bigger group, and second, acting for something that is an investment in future shape of humanity. So I'm doing something now, but I'm already seeing how this is the future state of things I see today. Maybe I'm triggering for many people who cannot see so much far in future. I have revolutionary ideas, but by God, I'm going to do something about it, and I will bring that future in today.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, what you don't have energy for definitely is to do standard. Do standard things, or keep obedient, or keep in a box. You do not have any energy for that. Mm-hmm. But you have lots of energy to break the rules, go outside of the box, and
not to break the rules for the breaking rules sake. It's because you see so much better world with better sets of rules. So these are antiquated rules. They have been there for like last 200 years. It's time for us to get out of this and do something much better for all of us.
Mm-hmm. But the like Mars action part in that could also give you physical power to break the rules and to stand really for what you want as a future for yourself. So you can completely hold the best timeline for you endlessly.
So why is it important that this is house 9? Is that in house 9 you're able to also explain this. So others would be just revolutionaries, activists, and they would kind of, like go and protest in the streets, which is the least effective way to do things, because you come up, these guys have guns, they have they're prepared for physical confrontation, so you are just wasting energy. But from the 9th house, you're able to stand up to what's going on now, but actually to very eloquently, and even through the judicial system, actually act on implementing the future today. So you're actually dangerous for whatever forces want status quo. because you can do something concrete and dangerous for them, and that's to speak their language and to actually defeat them in their own courts. So this is the potential, you know.
So yeah,
If nothing else, you have the way to put it in words. And if they ask you, so why are you thinking that way, you can put the coherent philosophy behind your position that is actually convincing. So that's the ninth house, what it adds to that Aquarius. So very, very beautiful combination.
and you're saying that you don't have it in Capricorn. Well, guess what? You can always call it in. This is, this is energy that's available. It has a default kind of expression in ourselves, but you can totally call it in and say, okay, so now I need it for making things happen. I need to take decisions. I need to make the move. Okay, Mars, please come. It's a harnessable energy. It's there for everyone.
And like last time, we are now, the Mars is very active, so we can feel drives of all of these that I'm explaining in all of our lives. So now's the time to actually try and experiment with all of these expressions in your life. So we have Anne. Anne says her Mars is in Cancer and in the 7th house. We first start with Cancer. Cancer Mars is a little bit like that 4th house that Miriam had. So acting in towards actually creating, like, so to speak, a cosmic family and cosmic belonging. So how do we do that? Well, cosmic family and cosmic belonging means it's acting in those directions where you are able to find who is your true tribe, so to speak. And this might mean that first we have to cut everybody who is not our true tribe. So those who are not are going to feel that we cannot really hear one more word from them because they are on completely different frequency. I am acting to find my cosmic tribe with whom I can do something really higher and with more impact to the whole humanity. But it is about finding the cosmic tribe, yeah? The first step is weeding out people who are not there.
And where you have unlimited energy is taking care of people. Taking care of, animals or people that you love. So the energy just flows in holding field, actually, in holding field and providing that field for.
And this
for
can
everyone.
totally be through music, through toning, through really holding the gentle field. I know how I feel when you, for example, tone. I feel super like taken care of. I kind of almost like I'm lulled, almost like by mother in the very kind of surrendering space.
So anytime you want to do it, even if you feel like, I'm exhausted, I have no energy, but as soon as you start doing that, supporting someone, the energy comes. And in infinite amounts.
And the 7th house of it is a house of partnerships, which means is that it would be easier for you to do these rituals and these toning with someone rather than always by yourself. So, for example, this that you just did with the ritual with Sylvia, this is probably the better and easier form of rituals for you than actually doing them for yourself, by yourself. So you would act best if there is someone else there to be there with you. And somebody from that Cancerian tribe that you have just formed for yourself. Then Nikki is Mars in Leo. And do we have a house or not?
Yeah, it's the 2nd house.
So Mars in Leo is actually about expressing your true voice. So it's acting a little bit in the way of expressing what your true voice is in a little bit of a playful way, playful and fun expressing. So it's a little bit, you would feel that you are always in some sort of stage, whether it's a real stage or your own inner stage, but there's always audience, and that audience is kind of charmed by your charisma. So it is kind of expressing this charisma and expressing yourself through being authentic who you are, and through a little bit of playful sense of humor way, where people are accepting it and as like being charmed by you.
Well, I would say there's always energy for the play. There's always energy to engage in fun activities, and to like organize other people around something, hold circles, for example, and interactions. And there's always energy for that. Too much of Mars in that could be, I need to be in the center of attention. So it's taking this
a little bit of diva role, and a little bit of like, if that is not happening, I'm going to show them that I don't even need them. But it's also like a little bit theatrical, where I actually do need them, but I will act that I don't. So this is if it's too much there. But if it's just right, it's really like your expression would be to be charming and to be, fun in front of the people who get inspired by you. So this is your normal expression. If it goes to that, like, this is natural expression for you. And it's in the second house, which means that, there is going to be something involving your body, and that it's actually going to be able to, that this expression of yours is possible to bring you quite a bit of income. So people would pay you for that. If you hone this in the right way, so that you are as natural in your expression as possible, there is a possibility of good income coming effortlessly through just expressing yourself naturally in this way.
Which means involving play, group, body activity. So, for example, I'm just saying it out loud as an example. It could be creating a circle for kids, that they perform some sort of activity to, get rid of anxiety, for example. And that would be very successful and actually, financially sustainable. If you can create a play that upgrades somebody's state and is done in group, brings fun, and involves the body. So those are the elements. I also have Mars in Leo, and it's totally that, how to present complex things in a fun way. So that's what it tells. And if you understand that there's too much of it and it makes you kind of furious about people's shortcomings. So Mars in Leo, well, from my experience, is also extreme impatience, extreme kind of non-tolerance of that somebody is slow or taking time or not getting it or something like this. So that short-temperedness can be turned into, can be upgraded to more inclusiveness and more understanding that everybody has their own speed. Mars in Leo is very speedy. So if somebody doesn't get it, especially like children or something, like we don't say 3 times. So something to be careful about that there. And more about the Mars in Leo is really creating a method. It's not like you would do something that's been invented by someone else. It's creating it out of what brings you the most fun.
And okay, this is
Celia. Okay, so
Emma. So Emma, Mars in Gemini and in the first house. Okay, so Mars in Gemini, this means is that you would most easily do action when surrounded with people, so through with other people, and
It's like you.
in a social environment, and something that kind of involves intelligence and mind. So it means like really talking to people and acting through explaining, and actually almost like chameleoning yourself to every one of your audience and telling them just the right words or finding just the right actions for their specific personality to understand and accept what you are telling them. So it is really a beautiful way of understanding huge amounts of people for exactly who they are, and doing and telling them just the right thing that they can understand. It's understandable for them. Nobody else can explain things to so many different people as you can. So it's crucial that it is social, and you are best activated when you're in social situation. You wouldn't necessarily act naturally if you are on deserted island or in the temple, like by yourself. That acting for others and with others is super important. And in the first house is that you act best when you are fully expressing something of who you are. So something that you have reached those conclusions yourself through your work and through your exploration, and you're simply being yourself with others, and they're getting all the benefits from your work already. So that's that combination.
I would add that too much energy in that in that Gemini could make you really get stuck in mind and go, literally go crazy about kind of ideas over ideas over ideas, or because. So it kind of goes up into the mind, and it can be either like luminous ideas and explanations and teaching groups, or it can be you drive yourself crazy. That's too much Mars in the head. So that's why we know that you have beautiful body and body work and everything, and this is the best service that you can give yourself, is when you are driving yourself crazy, bring that energy out of the head and into the body.
Yeah, another thing of too much energy of Gemini, Mars in Gemini, would be to actually overplan, many events over events that actually end up clashing with each other, because that fear of being bored was so much that we created more than now we can provide. And another little danger of Mars in Gemini would be that you would be super interested in the first part of the project, planning it all out and making, but then when we need to actually sit and do it, and do through some boring phases where we stay at home and actually create those posts, and actually that part
then you need Victor.
That part is not the easiest. Like the first, while there's inspiration of creation, we're all there, but then that boring part where you have to stay home and actually make it happen,
then Emma
can
moves
somebody
out.
else do it? So just to know that there's that some, and this is great. It means that inspiration to start is fine.
So true.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to have a team member who is actually there for that
boosting,
staying
let's
power.
do it part.
Because it's fun again when the event starts. Then is the most fun, because that's where real people are, that's when the engagement starts. But that planning from the idea to actually making it happen, somebody else could help there. So I hope Victor is already here with his Mars in third house and Aquarius. So yeah, Victor's third house is very similar to your Gemini, but actually Aquarius is about systems. So it's the drive to do things for the betterment of the humanity. That's the same as Fabiana had, the Mars in Aquarius, is actually able to sit through the difficult phases and actually do it, because we have this weight of humanity is going to be upgraded by the work that I do, and I'm bringing the future today. So there is this analytical mind that likes resolving the potential problems, how to make this work. So Mars in Aquarius will be able to some extent to sit through those boring phases and actually make it happen, because we are bringing future today. And Victor's third house is that this acting also comes best when it's in social situations and with others. So it's through the community and through friendships and through people who we transformed by speaking this futuristic idea that I have with exact words that they understand. So this is your combination. You might need to have a team member that has Mars, for example, in something earthy like
In
Taurus
Capricorn.
or Capricorn, to actually put those business plans and kind of give you the exact dates when to do what, so you don't have to think about it. It's too much to think about those boring things as how to, in which account they should pay and exactly when, and who's going to send them the payment details and those things. Somebody with Capricorn or Taurus would be great to solve those problems.
Mm-hmm. So the too much of Mars in Aquarius could be being impatient and non-understanding with people who are very conservative, like really like despising people who are locked in the boxy way of thinking, and then being a little aggressive with them to kind of shake them alive. So you would put a lot of your Mars would make you do things to shake them up, to let them loose, to kind of break their boxes.
And definitely not patient with authority of any kind.
Yeah, but this is actually a great thing, because you have infinite amount of energy to shake up people's conservative beliefs, and you would never get tired. And if you create a method that kind of liberates them from their conservative, it's gonna, it's gonna work, because you have a passion for that, waking people up in any possible way.
Yes. Anna is here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, very welcome.
It was very, very great.
Very accurate. Very exact. Thank you.
Yeah, good to know how to direct the energy and where it naturally wants to flow. Yeah. So Anna has Mars in Sagittarius, and it's in the first house. So Sagittarius one is actually action in the direction of actually gaining more depth and gaining the deep kind of spiritual system, so to speak. So it's like it's the sign of spirituality and sign of actually sharing wisdom with others. And in
Same for Eleonora, I see.
uh-huh.
Eleonora has Sagittarius in the first
Oh,
house.
okay.
No, Dace, yeah. So
Sagittarius
Dace
in the
and,
first house. And Anna have the same one.
Okay, so it goes for both.
So in Sagittarius, acting from the place of Sagittarius, first, it means I act best when I have no limitations, so I can travel and move freely throughout the world. So anything that is kind of giving me some sort of limitations is not comfortable. I am best when I can pursue my spiritual quests by going to those places on earth that are, maybe it's Alaska, maybe it's Tibet. I'm going to find piece of the information in Tibet, another piece in Bali, another piece like the sage in Nepal. So I will collect this and then put very coherent system, spiritual system within myself, and then I'm going to be able to share it with others in the form of kind of flowing messages through me, allowing messages to go through me and being set from the place of inspiration. Another level of thinking about it is it's really freedom to act, travel, and freedom to move, freedom to not be locked in one place. And it's interesting that both of you have not yet reached it in your life, and this is important that this Mars now will push you to let's do something about it finally. Can we liberate ourselves finally, and can be able to go to those places that are much more in line with who we are than being in those kind of grim, gray, cold, whatever, smoggy places, like just opening the world, like oyster, opening the world, and now it's my oyster, I can go anywhere I want. So that's Mars in Sagittarius. It wants you to go and pick flowers of knowledge and guidance and wisdom at the original places where they have sprouted from. So you must be free to travel.
Too much Mars in Sagittarius could be the preachiness, having an infinite amount of energy to criticize the world the way it is, and and feeling that you know better how things work, and giving lectures and lessons to people who don't know how to live from this point of view.
So higher Sagittarius would actually say right things at the right time. Too much Mars in Sagittarius would be, I preach because I know better, but
I know how things work. Yeah.
But it totally doesn't work for another person. They're saying, they're preaching, I'm going to switch off and not even listen. So important to actually dose it right. Hannah's Mars is in Gemini and not sure about the house. So because it's on the 0 degree, Hannah, that means that it is literally on the edge between Gemini and Taurus. So we spoke about what is it in Gemini. It means that it brings easy action with groups of people, but because always these things on the brim, on the edge, are very difficult to deal with because they are bringing two very incompatible drives together. So your one drive is to have a fixed situation that is secure and safe. You have your home, your studio, and like your place where you perform, and it's very well known. That is Taurian side of Mars. And you will do concrete, down to earth things to make it happen, and you would want security in it. Whereas at the other end, your Gemini would be, well, I want to be where people are, and I want to actually have a lot of people that are that I can share with, and I want to be in those social situations because then I operate best. And then later today is, but I feel really safe to actually invite people home and stay at home and kind of perform for them there. So it's like there is this clash between, well, when you are in a high energy, the good thing is you can do both. But when you're in low energy, then questions of both sides are kind of coming. So am I supposed to not change things and stay where I have been for all these years? Or am I supposed to go with where the community is and follow them? So this is both Taurus and Gemini inspiring your Mars energy to act. So their discernment will be important where you channel this energy, what you do with it, because both are correct.
And again, the drawback of Mars in Gemini is a lot of planning ideas and a little bit difficulty in applying in concrete action. Because when you have to do it, like you have to make that website, then it's, it needs extra push.
This is not really a drawback. It is just kind of knowing how to find people with whom you partner up, because you are amazing in first stages of the project. But because you have that Taurus, you are also good at the second part, because exactly Taurus would be the one who can go through the boring phases of project and do the necessary work. So you have it both ways. But when the questions arise, then you have questions on both sides. So you have doubly more energy and doubly more questions.
Like Emma, too many questions. Mm-hmm. Lisa, you have no idea which house your Mars is in. Well, we we can have a little bit idea knowing you and your expressions. It's actually I'm almost we can actually check, but it
I
could
might
be on
have
that
it.
revolutionary side,
I
giving
have
a
it
lot of energy
in
to
my black book of everybody. I have Lisa, I have your chart as well, probably. Let me see.
Yeah, so you see, actually knowing where the infinite source of energy is in your chart helps to have less doubts
okay.
and questions about it.
So Lisa, guess what? Your Mars is on the edge between Scorpio, so it's in Scorpio, and at the edge between Scorpio and Libra, but literally on 0 degrees 25 minutes, so like half a degree into Scorpio. So it's between Scorpio and Libra, which means is that this is your time. Mars in Scorpio, your Mars is in Scorpio. So this, what we talk about, those 3 levels of Scorpio that we have talked about, these are the impulses that you will be working with here and now. So is it on personality level that I'm triggered, or am I seeing the best intention of the others and acting from this place, or am I seeing divine in the others and acting from there? So personality, best intention, divine. These are the 3 levels.
And we know that you're quite capable of all 3. Huh?
Maybe within 1 day or within 5 minutes, all 3 getting in and out. So
Yeah, I remember that story that you shared, how your Mars in Scorpio wanted to convince in a camping the guy who wanted, who was pro shots, yeah, and how your Mars in Scorpio wanted to just hit him out of his unawareness. So that's what Mars in Scorpio does. Huge passion to hit people out of their unawareness by any electrical shock means that it can find, with either like super sharp words or literal electroshock, but anything that would wake them up instantly, because they have to see, they have to know.
Yeah, so I think we have to end here because we are out of time, and I think we covered everyone.
No, we're
No?
not. We're like
Cool.
12:35. We still have Eleonora with Mars in Leo, which we said for Nikki, but the first house.
Mars in Leo, we said that this is the expression of playfulness and the true voice, and a little bit of being, like being a little bit of a diva. So if you are able to kind of be a little diva and, that people actually see, well, but natural. It's not like in a bad way. It's like people just love when you act like that. You give yourself freedom to be playful and to be kind of expressing your authenticity. They would love to receive this because, this comes naturally to you. This is how your Mars acts. And
it would also be organizing parties, adding energy into creating a common fun. So you would be a very good organizer of events where people are having fun.
So this is acting out of the thing that is fun for you. And you know that our collective brainwashing was always telling us, but how can my work be fun? My work should be organized and difficult. If it's fun, it doesn't qualify as work. Well, guess what? In previous incarnations, you have earned the right for this incarnation to be fun for you at work. So you can have something that is fun, the thing that you do for work, because this is your natural expression in this lifetime. And when it comes that it's from the first house, that it's even more that your authenticity or your authentic expression has to be in your actions. You cannot act out of somebody else's opinion of what's good and what's bad. You cannot act out of what collectively they told you is a good thing to do. you can really act in most alignment when you act from your own authenticity of who you are. So guess what? It's kind of easy in this lifetime. You do who you offer in your action what you are, and in a playful and fun way. Well, how fun is that? It's really a lot of fun. If somebody is telling you you have to do some drudgery and some, really difficult and boring work in this lifetime, you can easily say to yourself, no, that's wrong. That's not for me in this lifetime. So I will actually find something that is me and that is playful and fun for me. So
Yeah. So voila, this was the marathon of of your Marses, and really remember this and understand that you will have energy to do these things, and these areas are also the ones that you'll have to transform the most. So more levels of constructive action in these areas where your Mars is, and more also awareness to keep it under control and not let it spoil the beautiful thing that can come out of it. And the last thing that we wanted to highlight as aspects of Mars is this capacity of it actually goes in the matters of life and death. Yeah, it's a constant life and death on personality, also the physical death of the physical body. So we're full on into this question, as Fabiana wanted to die on many levels. It's really the Mars topic. How can you die to who you previously were and reach the next the next step in a way? And for this, it comes to the fact that Mars also gives us courage to look in those questions of death, which normally people are kind of trying to pretend it's not there. It's not. It's too much. It's dark. It's black. It's sad, and by all means pushing it away. So the way that Mars makes us face these questions is either by inspiring us to look at them in constructive way, like before anything death related needs to occur, or by making you face the actual situation where loss or death or change are involved, and then you have no way but to explore the topic because it's right there standing in your face. So this is the time, the Scorpio time, to explore death and dying and resurrection and everything around it, and to include it in our lives as a absolutely normal process of life cycles. And what we had as a little announcement in this regards, we didn't time it specifically to this, but it happens that the next course is ready, and the topic is the death and dying, led by Pepe, and the title is Falling in Love with Death. It couldn't be more Martian supported than it is, because it's completely actually embracing the part of life that we
habitually don't want to
out,
look at. Yeah.
But death is a part of life, and being aware of it in every ancient tradition is actually making us live more fulfilled, more happy, more free, and more constructive lives. So it's happening. It's going to happen in 2 weeks. We'll share right now the link, and you'll receive probably a little email, and it's gonna be fun, and we hope to see some of you join and explore together with us. Pepe has crafted amazing soundtracks. We are blown away. If you remember the course of Sacred Sexuality, the soundtracks that were coming, the sound healings, well, this time again he surprised us with a complete musical magic, and it's just extraordinary with what lightness and ease he will take us through the 6 weeks of the topic, so that we become completely free and actually equipped to face any kind of change, any kind of loss. So, for example, I know Dace and Eleonora had quite a bit of this topic in the last years of change, loss, and death. So this course is for everyone who wants to just be equipped and know what to do when such situation comes, and to get through it in the most
situations of big change.
Of big
Death
life
and
transitions.
big other changes in life. Floods that destroy half of your property, or just
Or
the world that
your
is
house
changing.
burned down, and what do you do? What do you do concretely when Mars hits you with ta-dam, here it is, right now, right here, ready or not, it's happening. So being equipped for this, and it can also work as the after effect. So this course will be taking us through the 5 stages of grief, so that even if we have some unprocessed grief, because we just didn't know what to do with
then.
it, and we locked it in some space for later, well, this is the opportunity to really go through it and liberate whatever unfinished businesses around these changes and the topics have been stored.
So I shared the link here in the chat. I will also send this on our Telegram group and everywhere else, so check it out.
This is the time of the year to do that. And whoever wants to join, it will be such a great pleasure to share a little journey with you.
Okay.
Voila. So that's what we had for today.
Yeah, thank you all for coming and for joining us, and for the trust in just following this journey together with us. And we will see you next time, same place, same time.
And if you need more Mars in your life, dress in red.
Big hug.
Big hug.
Thank you so much.